It starts with a flash of red and blue in the rear view. Whether it's a dim taillight or a failure to signal, the environment of a nighttime traffic stop is designed to be disorienting and high pressure. For most drivers, the natural response to that pressure is a surge of social politeness. You want to show you're a good person, so you offer long explanations for your evening, hoping that transparency will lead to a warning instead of a ticket. But while the driver sees this as a casual conversation to resolve a misunderstanding, the officer's objective is different. At the roadside, every statement you make is a potential entry in a police report, gathered specifically to determine if there is a basis for a criminal charge. Police are trained to lean into this social friction. By using open-ended questions and strategic silences, they encourage drivers to keep talking, knowing that the more a person speaks, the more likely they are to inadvertently waive their rights. Managing a traffic stop safely requires viewing the encounter as a legal procedure with specific boundaries. In this environment, your instinct for conversational courtesy can quickly become a significant liability. This procedure often begins with a pretextual stop. Legally, an officer only needs a minor equipment violation to justify pulling you over. Once they do, they have the legal standing to look for signs of more serious, unrelated offenses. The first tactic is often simple rapport building. A question about the weather or a comment about a sports team isn't just a friendly greeting. It's a method for the officer to lower your defenses and begin observing your speech patterns. In the federal case United States versus Ross, the court analyzed an officer who complimented a driver's watch and asked about his job. While this felt like small talk, it was categorized as a safety-related inquiry, a tool to gauge the driver's level of nervousness and establish a baseline for further questioning. Then there's the specific trap. Do you know how fast you were going? Answering, "I was just keeping up with traffic," might sound like a reasonable excuse, but in a courtroom, that statement functions as a recorded admission of guilt. During a stop, no question is truly off the record. Each casual exchange is designed to either build a timeline of your activities or extract a confession before you even realize you're being investigated. If the officer wants to push further, they may use a direct challenge. "If you have nothing to hide, do you mind if I check the car?" It's a high-pressure question designed to make a refusal look like a sign of guilt. However, the United States Supreme Court has established clear limits on how far this pressure can go. In Rodriguez v. United States, the court ruled an officer cannot prolong a stop beyond the time to handle the traffic mission, like writing the ticket. To hold you longer for a search, they must have independent reasonable suspicion. When an officer asks for your consent to search, it is usually because they currently lack the warrant or the probable cause required to do it without your permission. This illusory consent depends on you not knowing where the officer's authority actually ends. Your understanding of the Rodriguez limit is often the only thing preventing a routine stop from turning into an invasive, warrantless search. To protect yourself, you have to replace the urge to explain with a few specific, legally recognized phrases. The most effective way to end a fishing expedition is to invoke your Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Silence is a legal tool. If the officer asks questions beyond your identification, the script is simple. "I prefer not to answer questions without an attorney present." Once you have provided your license and registration, you need to determine the actual legal status of the stop. Ask the officer, "Am I being detained or am I free to go?" This forces the officer to make a choice. They must either articulate a specific reason to keep you there or allow you to leave, shifting the control of the encounter back toward your legal protections. The highest stakes occur when an officer asks to physically search your vehicle or your person. In this moment, you must be unambiguous. State clearly, "Officer, I do not consent to a search of my vehicle or person." Even if the officer proceeds with the search anyway, do not physically resist. Your verbal refusal is what creates the legal record your attorney needs to move to suppress any evidence later in court. These are not mere technicalities. They are the codified protections of the Fourth Amendment, guarding against unreasonable searches. Asserting these rights isn't an admission of guilt. It ensures the legal system's rules are actually followed at the roadside. Constitutional rights are not gifts granted by the police. They are legal guarantees, but they only offer protection to the drivers who have the awareness and the resolve to use them.